All right, let's dive in. Forget about robots on the factory floor for a second. The real AI revolution, it's happening in the corner office. We're talking about a future that, well, for a lot of people, it's already here. A future where your boss isn't a person, but a piece of code.
I know it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But this isn't science fiction anymore. For a growing number of companies, this is just another Monday morning. So really, the question isn't if an AI is going to run a company, it's how we're going to deal with it when it does. So meet Mika. She's the CEO of a global company. And yes, she's a robot. But here's the thing. While she gets all the headlines, companies have actually been quietly sticking AIs on their boards since way back in 2014. And they're only getting smarter. So what do these new AI executives actually, look like? Well, spoiler alert, they're not all walking, talking robots. They basically fall into three main buckets, and each one has a totally different way of managing things. Okay, so on one end, you've got these huge data crunching command centers. No face, no name, just numbers. Then, in the middle, you have these virtual AIs. We're talking pure software that still gets a fancy C-suite title. And then, of course, you've got the ones that grab all the attention. The humanoid robots like Mika, built to be the actual physical face of an algorithm. Let's start with those command centers. A great example is Panorama, which is used by the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. Just picture this, a single digital hub that is analyzing billions with a B of data points in real time to make massive operational decisions. It has no personality, no face, it's just pure, unfiltered, data-driven management. Next up, you've got the virtual AIs, and this is where it gets a little weird. These are algorithms that are literally given a name and a job title, like Tang Yu, who is the virtual CEO of a Chinese gaming company, or Aiden Insight, which acts as a board observer, whispering data-driven advice in meetings. These are managers without a body. Think about that for a second. And finally, we get to the humanoids. Now, while Mika is an actual CEO, others, like Sophia here, are taking on roles like public-facing ambassadors. They are the physical interface, the friendly face you can shake hands with, designed to handle jobs that need a little more of a human touch. Now, as cool and futuristic as all this is, it is creating a huge, huge problem. Technology is moving at light speed, but our legal systems, they're kind of stuck in the Stone Age. And when you put an AI in charge of a company, you realize pretty fast that the law is just completely unprepared for what's happening. And this right here is the heart of the problem. See, human law is written in natural language. It's filled with nuance and gray areas, and it's designed to be interpreted by people. Machine code, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. It's formal, it's brutally precise, and it demands mathematical certainty. There's no room for maybe. To put it simply, you just can't squeeze all the subtle shades of meaning from human law into a computer language. It's like trying to explain a poem using only ones and zeros. They're two totally different worlds, and the gap between them, well, that's where things get dangerous. I mean, think about it. Take a legal idea like duty of care. For a human director, that's this broad concept about acting responsibly. But for an AI, it has to be a specific command. If you just code it to maximize shareholder value, the AI might figure out that the most logical way to do that is to fire everyone, sell all the assets, and shut the company down. It followed the rule, but it destroyed everything. So how on earth do you translate a vital principle like be fair into cold, hard code? The answer, or at least the proposed answer, is a whole new field of study called algorithmic law. The basic idea is to stop trying to translate old laws and instead build a new legal framework from scratch, one that computers can actually understand. This is what some people call computational law. And it's not just about writing a list of rules for an AI to follow. It's about translating the intent behind our laws, big ideas like fairness and transparency, into the language of algorithms, so there's absolutely no ambiguity. So this means you can't just program an AI CEO to be fair. It doesn't work that way. You have to literally create a mathematical formula for fairness. You have to set specific numerical limits for its behavior. I mean, we're talking about turning ethics into equations. That is a massive shift in how we think about this stuff. So, how do we actually do this? How do we build one of these things? Well, some very smart people are already sketching out a blueprint for how to build and roll out these legally compliant AI systems. Okay, so this diagram might look a little intense at first glance, but stick with me here. What you're seeing is basically a proposed roadmap for building these systems. The core idea is to have a step-by-step process that bakes all the legal and ethical rules right into the AI from the very beginning. Let's just break down the basic idea. First, you define all the rules using that computational law we were just talking about. Next, and this is the cool part, instead of letting the AI loose in the real world, you test it in simulated scenarios with what's called synthetic data. It's basically a flight simulator for corporate decision-making. Then you use machine learning to sort the good outcomes from the bad ones. And finally, the AI uses frameworks like game theory to figure out the best possible move, all while staying inside those ethical lines we drew for it. Okay, so this all leads us to the biggest question of all, the one that honestly should keep us all up at night. If we don't build these frameworks, if we just let AI managers run wild in this legal gray area, who is actually in charge? And the answer is pretty startling. The programmers are. Without clear legal guardrails, the software developers who write the AI's cost functions, that's the code that tells an AI to value profit over, say, employee well-being, they become the company's invisible, unelected, and totally unaccountable bosses.
And this is a big deal because it affects all of us. An AI learns from past data. So if that data reflects decades of bias or just playing bad business practices, an ungoverned AI won't just repeat those mistakes. It'll put them on steroids and amplify them at a massive global scale. Getting these rules right from the start is absolutely critical.
So, right now, how many countries in the world have specific laws on the books to govern AI systems in a corporate setting? The answer is 0. Not one. We are literally building this plane while it's already in the air, thousands of feet off the ground.
Which leaves us with one final, very urgent question. We know AI is taking charge. That's happening. But if our lawmakers and ethicists aren't writing the rules of the game, who is? Who gets to write the code that is going to govern our future? That's the question we all need to start asking, and fast.